Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hope all is well. So, y'all, I hope that y'all are able to stay cool in this crazy hot weather. We hit 117 degrees here last week in Phoenix, and I'm sure it's going to get a lot hotter coming up in the next couple of months. So, if you're in a state where it's really hot, please do me a favor and stay cool. Hey, y'all. So, I started my basketball venture, and that's playing basketball, right? Not my NBA career, because that just didn't happen. But anyways, my venture in playing basketball, I took a few years off because I injured my back pretty bad, and it came to a point to where it was like, do I keep playing and injure myself more, or do I just stop playing and just let things be as they are? And so I chose to just hang it up and let things be as they are, especially with all the back pain I was experiencing. Well, recently, about a year and a half ago, I decided to go back to playing basketball. I'm happy to share I have not had a major back injury. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I hear the applause. But, anyways, though, so I told myself that I want to get back into playing. And so I met these guys in the gym, and they're playing quite often. And they're about my age. We're really all close in age, right? One's probably a year or two younger, and one is probably a year or two older. Okay. And so I started playing with them. And I tell y'all, when I started playing, I stunk. I mean, I sucked. Let me just say it for what it was. I sucked. We would play these games at 21. I would probably score like maybe like 5, 6 points, if that, some games. And I told myself, like, I want to get better. I need to get better because I'm playing with some guys that are pretty competitive. They like to win. I want to win. So I had to get better. And so what I started doing was going to the gym every day, shooting the basketball around for 30 minutes at a time, start doing drills, shooting drills, defensive drills, dribbling drills, just to get myself back acclimated to the game. And as I did that over time, I started to see where I started to get better and better and better. So, yeah, I want to talk about practice makes perfect. I remember when I used to hear it in the day, I kind of would chuckle about that because I was like, what do you mean practice makes perfect? But I realized that the more time, the more interest that you give into something, the more you become more knowledgeable, you become more understanding, and you start performing a lot better once you have more knowledge, more game time. Once you have more practice, however you see it, you start to improve. And that's one thing I learned about my basketball game is that over time I started to get better and better and better, and I actually started to win some games at 21. My team started to win 2-on-2, 3-on-3. And so I realized that practice does make perfect. And I used to tell myself a long time ago that I wasn't worthy of speaking well. I wasn't worthy of getting up in a crowd and speaking in front of people. I mean, I just never pictured myself being able to do that. But as y'all can see with this podcast I have, and me being a part owner of a gym in Phoenix, we used to close out with a motivational speech at the end of every workout, as well as with a little selfie, a group selfie that was. But over time, I started to feel more comfortable speaking in front of people. I started to feel more comfortable getting behind this mic, podcasting. And so I practice everything that I want to get better at. And back to what I was saying, practice makes perfect. You heard the late Kobe Bryant talk about what made him better. It wasn't that he was just more skillful than anyone else on the court. He just he just practiced more. Same thing with Michael Jordan. These guys had an excellent practice game. They practiced for hours and hours on end. And Kobe shared in one of his motivational videos that he would practice up to 2 to 3 times a day. He would be the first one in the gym at practice, and he'd be the last one in the gym when practice is over. And what I meant to say is he'd be the last one to leave the gym when practice is over, which means that he's still practicing when everyone else has gone home. right? And so if you are one of those ones that want to improve in something, practice makes perfect. You just got to put in the work. But that's the problem. A lot of us don't want to put in the work because we got too much other things going on. We don't want to miss out on the fun stuff. Because I tell you, practicing over and over again, reading scripts over and over again, practicing movie roles that you're going to um, apply for or interview for, however you see it, that stuff takes time and it gets repetitive. It gets boring. And so a lot of us don't want to do the work because we want to have fun instead of doing the work that's going to get us somewhere in the future. But I'm here to tell y'all that practice makes perfect. The more time you spend into something, the better you become. The more interest you show to something, the better results you get. And if you have not figured that out in this stage of the game, then I have to say something is wrong. But I think a lot of us know that practice makes perfect. Everyone almost knows who Michael Jordan is. Everyone knows who Kobe Bryant is. And if you know them, you know their work ethic. So a lot of us would only have to know in the back of our mind that these guys practice for hours on end to get to the highest level of their game. Michael Jordan got 6 championships. You can't tell me the practice doesn't make perfect. Kobe Bryant has several championships. You can't tell me the practice does not give you the results that you want in life. But back to what I said, a lot of us don't want to practice. We don't want to put in the repetition work. We don't want to take time from something that's fun and put it into something that we think may be boring. One thing about myself is that I realize with this podcast, the more I start the podcast, the better I start to become. And the better I become, the more I start to love it. There's some Mondays and Fridays when I have the podcast where I'm just exhausted. I'm tired, but I do it for the love of the game. I begin to love podcasting just like I've begun to love playing basketball again. And both those things I put interest and hard work and dedication into. On the weekends, I'm listening to podcasts. I'm hearing other podcasters. I'm hearing what they talk about. I'm listening to their podcasts to see how does their audio sound? How does their video look? I'm reading up on YouTube on how to sound better on a podcast, how to make better video podcasts. So I'm doing all these hard things to get myself to where I want to be. Same thing with basketball. I'm on IG looking at basketball drills to do. When I go to the gym, I'm actually doing those drills when I'm practicing. I'm reading about guys my age, how do they get in better cardio shape to play basketball. I'm doing the things that I'm reading, and it's starting to pay off because I'm winning basketball games. My body feels a lot more youthful. So you have to practice to be perfect. And let me just say this. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to be great. So I guess I should say practice makes you great, right? Because perfection hides insecurities. If you're one of those people that have to portray you're perfect, then you're hiding a whole bunch of insecurities. I know because I've done that before. So practice makes you great, makes you good at what you do, makes you want to excel in what you're doing. So find a good practice rotation and fall into it. Take time out of the day to just practice writing in your gratitude journal. Affirmations are big. You know what affirmations are? Affirmations are practices of you telling yourself how great you are. That's all an affirmation is. It's you telling yourself that you're great. It's you identifying with yourself your strengths. It's you telling yourself that you are great and you're going to be great. That's all affirmations are. But the more you say those affirmations and the more you use them, the more they start to become real. The more you start to feel intelligent. You start to feel more like your affirmation is saying that you are. So practice makes you great. So I don't know where you are in life, but I'll say this today for you. If you're struggling with wanting to be great at something, practice. Spend 15 minutes a day, every day. And then jumped up to 30 minutes, and then 45 minutes. And then next thing, you're at an hour. I saw this social media post about 2 months ago. And it says that if you spend, and I hope I don't butcher this, y'all please don't laugh at me. But it says that if you spend an hour a day for 365 days, 1 year, on something that you want to be better at, that's 365 hours in a year that you've given to whatever it is you want to make an improvement in. 365 hours is a lot of time to put into something that you want to be great at. And it's only an hour a day. So find yourself, get a piece of paper, get a pen, write down your goals, and practice them every single day. Hey, y'all, thank y'all for listening. Hey, don't forget to go check out my website at www.rewirethewayouthink.com. It's got some good nuggets on there that you can actually take away from a daily basis and hopefully help you rewire the way you think. Hey, y'all, I'm not hard to find. I'm on IG all day. That's James Watkins at 40 and Fit Life Coach. If you're struggling today with thoughts of suicide, thoughts of hurting yourself or someone else, please don't hesitate to call the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 988. Hey, y'all, I'm Coach James. Let me help rewire the way you think. And that's my 2 cents now, y'all. Peace.